Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 198th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week, we are discussing quite the juicy topic. The question is it ever appropriate to share unsolicited advice? Before we dive deep into the subject, a couple of things to go over. First, make sure you download this episode, not just listen to it, but download the episode at WokeNFree.com through the Podbean app. If you're able to do that, that's the greatest amount of support you can show the show, but then also it's how you join the conversation. If you have the app, then you can add in your comments and you can tell us what your thoughts are on unsolicited advice. The irony, but yes, we want to hear. Next, if you cannot download the app and you still want to show support, best way to do it is go to WokeNFree.com, go in the listen tab, and then pick your platform of choice where you're going to subscribe and follow the show at. So we got a lot of love on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play. Of course, we'd love more subscribers on our YouTube channel, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora. We're everywhere, guys. So make sure you do that. Now, of course, another really cool way to support the show is by subscribing via email. So you can do that on the homepage at WokeNFree.com. Super simple, takes a couple of seconds, and you can encourage your friends and family to do it so that every week when you get an email notification saying, hey, new episode, you can forward it along. Super fun. And then if you ever want to find us on social media, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn at WokeNFree. And then of course, if you have 90 seconds, we would love for you to review the show. So we'd love more reviews on iTunes. I think 5 stars makes the most sense, but
maybe.
Let's see what you guys got. So make sure, again, you go on the listen tab on WokeNFree.com, pick your platform of choice where you can review the show at, and see an end. That's that.
Before we start the conversation, we like to share a little bit about ourselves. Last time we asked, would you rather never speak to your family again or never get married? This week we're asking, would you rather earn a Pulitzer or be given a Medal of Honor for a heroic act?
Oh, that's interesting. Probably the Medal of Honor for a heroic act, just because that seems really cool and it seems memorable and distinguishable and something to go down in history books, not just for you and your family, but also just in the broader scale of the community you live in. So that I would go with that. How about you?
I would do the Pulitzer because it gives you money and opportunities.
So screw people, yeah.
Well, yeah, the Medal of Honor, I don't know if you get paid for that, to be honest. Pulitzer, you will earn lots of money. You can write books, and you can say you're a Pulitzer Prize winner.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff to get from that. The Medal of Honor, I don't know if those people get, lots of cash. No,
but maybe you could finagle that into maybe some type of deal or something with a company who's looking to honor or...
But just think of the Pulitzer Prize winners. They go on to be very successful.
Yeah.
That's all I could say about that one.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's my choice. So I don't know.
All right.
It's hard. I have choices, but I don't know if you make the same choices. So would I give you certain advice? Would that be
just ask
kind
a
of
question,
unsolicited?
Your transition blows.
No, I'm just wondering if I gave you my advice, is that a kind of unsolicited thing? Is that what that would be?
Unless I asked for it, yes.
So that's what would be unsolicited. So it's interesting because on this episode we're talking about, is it ever appropriate to share unsolicited advice?
So recently there was an incident, or several incidents rather, where Miss Monique, the comedian, took it upon herself to address the public with her quote-unquote concern around women wearing bonnets, slippers, and sleepwear in an airport when she was traveling to do some type of comedy gig. And she took it upon herself to go on Instagram and share this video, and starts off with her, hi, my babies, and all that nonsense. And
that's good sense. I call it good
sense. And
sense.
it really kind of sparked an interesting public conversation because some people support her. Some people think, what she's speaking to is advice of, distinguished woman, who's saying, hey, women of color, people, we need to show up in a certain way in our life, no matter what position or where we're at in life. Other people are saying, hey, you know, when you're traveling in an airport, you're trying to get from point A to point B. You don't know what's going on in people's lives, whatever. The point is, at the end of the day, I believe we would classify this as unsolicited advice because no one specifically asked her to speak on the subject. She took it upon herself to share her thoughts. And you can actually see the video in the Hello Beautiful article link that's shared in this episode. And you can make your judgment call if you have not already seen the video. But this is what sparked this conversation for us here. And my thoughts come down to the following. When you have unsolicited advice, it's generally never appreciated. It's usually coming from a place of judgment. Regardless if people say it's not from a place of judgment, you can't tell someone how to receive information. And if someone receives information and it seems judgmental to them, it is what it is. And then it's generally not appropriate because when people want something, they typically can ask for it. Now, there are some people who struggle asking for what they want. Totally get that. But when it comes to advice, why do people feel the need to have to make sure that their opinion is shared? Because to me, it seems more about that person as opposed to the people they're trying to help.
All right. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. And I found something on Psych Central where they said unsolicited advice, it often feels critical rather than helpful.
Yep.
It undermines people's ability to figure out what's right for them to solve their own problems. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something to keep in mind when thinking about should you be sharing this unsolicited advice.
Absolutely. So then the next question would be, what are the biggest issues with unsolicited advice?
Well, besides being asked for it, again, that article that I referred to by Psych Central, they also mention when you give advice that isn't wanted, you're intruding on someone else's right to self-determination, to have different opinions, and to come up with their own solutions. So could actually make things a lot worse for them when they just say, all right, I'm going to listen to your advice and I'm not going to even think about it on my own. So your advice could have nothing to do with my situation, but somehow I try to apply it. See, that's not really great.
Yeah, and listen, I don't think either of us could sit here and say we've never given unsolicited advice. Of course we have. It's a very, I think egotistical human behavior that seems somewhat natural in our everyone matters kind of approach to life in our society. However, there are major issues. So I came across this article that was written by Shannon Ashley on Medium, and she goes over some interesting points. And again, all our links are available in the episode on WokeNFree.com, so make sure you check it out. She says the following: unsolicited advice is often a power play. So last year, researchers show that people are motivated to provide unsolicited advice to others because it makes them feel more powerful. That's no surprise there. She goes on to say that advice givers often have terrible motives for quote unquote helping, according to researchers. Yeah. People give unwanted advice for many different reasons. Sometimes people do have pure motives and truly want to help. However, there are many more toxic and even sinister motives behind unsolicited advice. And so that's super not helpful. And then goes on to also say, which I thought it's not actually funny, but it's really interesting. Unsolicited advice is a mental health issue.
Really? That's weird.
I thought that sentence was genius.
I don't get that one.
She goes on to say that means there's an appropriate response. We must set and enforce boundaries to ensure our lives are not run amok by the pressure and stress of advice we never asked for. No, it isn't a good idea to accept all unsolicited advice as constructive criticism. That's a one-way ticket to Stress City. Listening to all advice that comes your way can be downright dangerous. And, it really can lead to some, I think, people not mentally being put in a good position when you deal with that. And then also she goes on to say you don't need to sacrifice your mental health for unwanted advice. So again, you can find all the links available in the episode on WokeNFree.com. My personal 2 cents I'd rather add here is that it, again, just for the sake of everyone's sanity involved, even if you feel like you see someone making a mistake, there's ways to go about finding out if they are interested in your opinion on the situation. You do not need to take it upon yourself to tell them your thoughts, to tell them your opinions. Even if you're a parent, even if you love that person deeply, even if you know that they could make better decisions, people often don't learn unless they go through that lived experience. So we have to learn. And sometimes those lessons, it might take their life or it might be drastically painful, but that's a part of the process. We have to give each other the grace to live the lives that we want to live. So that's where I stand on that.
So let people fail.
Yeah, because there's lessons
That's really
learned.
what this is about, right?
Yeah, it is. I guess so, yeah.
Exactly. Well, is there actually any unsolicited advice that is welcome then?
Yes, I do think it will come down to the following. So advice from documented successful experts. So when people, for instance, want to give you money advice, my first thought is, well, are you a millionaire or billionaire? Because short of that, I don't understand where exactly your documented success is coming from to support your advice. And now am I saying that anyone who's not a millionaire or billionaire can't give you money advice? No, I'm not saying that. But to be honest, I do think that there's a certain level of accreditation that comes with having documented success in a specific area. Also, is the advice coming from someone that has lived that experience, right? So now that we're going to be parents, we can have conversations more about parenting and parenthood because we're living that experience. So it makes more sense there. And then also, I would say, even if you don't have experience or you're not documentedly successful in that space, if the advice is coming from people in your corner, and for me, that would come down to less than 5 people in my life, probably less than 3 people in my life that I would say are really in my corner, then I'll take it. But otherwise, it seems to me to just say, I have to take your advice because you happen to be my parent, or you happen to be in my family, or you happen to be older than me, it's not going to cut it for me, at least. It might cut it for other people, but that's not going to cut it for me. So, be in someone's real corner, be really helpful and have lived that experience, and then also documented success as an expert.
Yeah, that's definitely some times when you'd want that advice. That'd be nice. Like
financial, business, real estate. Yeah, absolutely. Like Warren Buffett, give me all the unsolicited advice you'd like.
All right.
I'll take it.
Okay.
You're listening to WokeNFree. WokeNFree.
WokeNFree. WokeNFree.
WokeNFree. The podcast that always keeps it real and keeps it honest.
I thought about some other situations where unsolicited advice would be great. The first one is when you're in a learning environment, such as being coached by a race car driver on how to approach the next turn. Okay. Because, you don't know how to do this, right?
That's true.
So they got to tell you this is the next thing. So any kind of learning environment, teachers will give you advice and stuff.
Who are genuinely interested in your success, not because there are teachers who are molesting children and it's weird and it's getting weird.
Yeah, I'm not going into that. I'm just talking about when they're teaching you a lesson. Maybe that's it's something you should take to heart and think about. The second scenario is that when you're trying out a new experience, such as skydiving, and the instructor tells you when it's okay to take a selfie, you better listen to them, or else that phone, I don't know, it can end up on the earth and hurt somebody or something. Wow. Or just be going out of your hand.
That's good advice, yeah.
See, so new experiences might be a time when you could be open to learning, or
and that person has the lived experience to help you there. So
so that helps out. And then the third is that when someone tried the Spicy Monday special and they tell you what happened to them on Tuesday, you better take their advice.
Why are you gross?
What's that gross? That's everybody can figure out that one. See, but isn't that advice you'd be okay with? You'd be like, all right, thank you.
That's that person's digestive system.
But it's nice to know because then you can actually take the thing. Should I take a chance or should I go by what happened to them?
Spicy chimichanga for me. I don't know.
Really? So you wouldn't want to take a spicy advice from somebody?
I'm not answering
who had
yes,
experience.
I want that advice.
If they had experience, specifically experience, not just that they had the spicy food. Like, what happened the next day?
So if they had a blowout, you're saying...
See, you messed up. I don't know why you said all that. See, I don't know why you said all that. I don't know why you just...
If they had
they told you what happened on Tuesday. They told you what happened on Tuesday. The fact that they told you that something happened on Tuesday, that's gross. The event. No, you said something strange.
Yeah, they had a blowout. That's what you're talking about.
See, now you're messing up because hopefully no one's eating. Hopefully no one's eating while listening to the podcast because that's just not a good time right there. That's going to be hard.
1-2 punch.
That's messed up because I gave him a warning at least. I was talking about spicy food on Monday.
Keep it 100, Khalil.
we don't know, but either way, I would take advice.
About violent urination. That's all I know. You were talking about something coming out of a different hole.
Yeah. No, I didn't say specifically what it was. All we know is that person had a problem the next day. That's all we know.
A blowout. Now keep it moving.
I don't... Either way, that's some advice that people need to take to heart. Gotcha. I think you should, at least.
Diarrhea,
in my opinion.
Inducing activities. Fun times.
Unsolicited. Yes. It's helpful.
But we'll take it.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time, guys. Scenario 1. Zai was stoked that Noreen got to test out the new electric truck debuted by one of the most popular automakers in the US. Bad luck occurred when Noreen lost power to her house for a few days into the test. Zai knew that the electric truck could actually power Noreen's home. He doesn't want to tell her about the feature though, because he doesn't want her to accuse him of providing unsolicited advice. Do you think Zai should just tell her about the feature so her food doesn't spoil while her power is out?
Oh, wow. That's an interesting question. So this is, should Noreen, should Zai give the advice even though it's unsolicited, but it can help Noreen? So in this case, I would say Zai should ask Noreen all the different options of what Noreen is going about to try to figure out how to keep the food from spoiling in her home, and then ask Noreen what her thoughts are about maybe the new electric truck, and does she think it would be helpful? And then maybe upon that inquiry, then it could lead to a conversation of saying, hey, have you tried? As opposed to just telling her what to do, kind of a thing. So just maybe asking her, like, what are the different options she's gone through, and it leading to hopefully that right conclusion.
Okay, that's an interesting
It's a roundabout way
to do it.
But yes, that way you don't accuse, that way you're not like enforcing. I mean, I know people might be like, what? It's helpful, but still people can give helpful advice and it doesn't get taken well or received well. So, all
right.
What are your thoughts?
For me, I would tell Zai to just go directly to her and tell her that the truck can power her home, and just tell her just what's up. Don't go about a roundabout way. Just tell her this is the feature. I know about it. I don't know if you heard about it, but you need to use it because I don't want all that food to go bad because you have some good turkey in there.
Like, do you have an article does Zai have an article or anything that could be shared or no?
Yeah, he has proof that it does it.
Oh, so then technically if Zai shares an article, then it's not really his advice. It's like information that's public knowledge. But
still unsolicited. He's given that to her. She didn't ask to send me research that you found.
But if Noreen went out of her way to tell Zai what happened, then she made it his business by opening up that information, right? She divulged that. So in theory, it could be constructively asking.
Maybe she could say that, but she might have just told him that I don't have power. Yeah. And then he just said, well, guess what? You could actually power your house now.
Well, he could be like, oh, look what I found. Check out this article.
Wow. To do it that way, I mean, he could do it that way, but I suggest him not to do that way. I suggest him to tell her just how to actually do it.
The thought of lost food is too destructive.
I'm telling, like, save the food. Just here's exactly what you need to do to power your home so you can get that food going, the refrigerator working.
You don't want more blowouts. Yep.
You brought up blowouts. I never said that. I never said those words. That was not for me. Mm-hmm. Scenario number 2. Ashia loves to inform people when they are doing risky things. She noticed that cyclists in her area often like to cycle on the wrong side of the road. That is, they ride towards oncoming traffic instead of in the same direction. She decides that whenever a cyclist is riding towards her, she yells out the window, "Ride on the other side of the road." Is this appropriate because it is actually dangerous what the cyclists are doing? Or should she just keep her opinions to herself and let other people decide how they live their lives?
Yeah, Ashia is looking to get her behind whooped. That's what she's looking to do. Because you can't just yell at people in any type of neighborhood and any type of people. People don't take well to that. I don't know. This must be a nice part of, Sacramento or something.
Really? Interesting.
You know what I mean? That's not going to work in the hood or something. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Like, no.
Oh, you don't think she's in Colorado? I don't know.
I don't know. She's in a nice neighborhood. That's all I know.
Oh, okay.
Where people don't just box you in your face for talking all that.
While she's in the car, right? The cyclist has any power here.
Right there.
And the car, boom, that's the end of view. See, that doesn't make sense, right? That's why they would never try that. A cyclist would never try it. You know it.
But I would say if she really is that concerned about the cyclist's well-being, what she should do is speak to her local, legislators or people who make the decisions for transportation in that area and try to put up signs or try to have something where it says cyclists ride on, create some type of rule that's beyond her just talking smack in the street, but actual rules that everyone has to follow if she's deeply concerned about it. But then also one has to argue, has anyone died from riding on the wrong side? Like, because if there's been no issue, then why is it so risky, right?
It's statistically risky.
It's statistically risky, but
meaning people have gotten harmed.
Yeah, okay. So if there's documented evidence of it, then, like I said, then go about it to the people who have road rules and regulations and petition to those folks, because yelling at people is not going to cut it.
So she should throw like a shake at them then.
Excuse you?
She should throw a shake that she got for the latest fast food joint.
No.
Like one of the extra supersized ones.
She's about to get boxed in the face. Because people don't take kindly to that in all neighborhoods and all people.
But it would hit them right in the front of their mouth so they could taste like the strawberry fluids from the shake.
Not if she wants to be, sued or...
Really? They would say, thanks for giving me a free drink.
You want somebody to throw a shake in your face?
If I'm on the wrong side of the road and cycling towards a car, they need to throw that in my face.
Well, I know you well enough to know that you are not telling the truth. So get your life together a little bit. Get your life together
to get a free. I mean, hopefully it's like cookies and cream.
Exactly, and in a container and not thrown on you and get on your watch and your clothing.
But she's gonna hand it to me. Here you go. Your shake.
Because you would
right on the next side of the road.
You don't even want water sprayed on you. Now you want a shake sprayed on you. Tired of you.
But if I was in the wrong and I'm riding on the wrong side of the road, I'm risking my life.
When are you in the wrong?
Should somebody teach me that?
Okay.
Wow, that's an interesting concept you bring up.
Okay.
To me, that's like a whole episode of itself.
When is Khalil wrong? Talking too much smack. What's your answer to scenario 2?
My answer is, I guess the yelling out the window seems pointless because I don't think the people are going to take it kindly. So the good thing, I guess, she might as well just complain to maybe her committee for the town or something. Yeah. The local board, they deal with that kind of stuff like this, and say maybe there's rules for cyclists, because I don't think cyclists actually have that many rules they need to follow, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know what the rules of engagement are.
So it's a little open and it's not really enforced, so if she really wanted to be something, maybe she can...
If she really cared,
bring it up in the town meetings that they have, right? They have that. Most towns have that, so... Bring it up there and say, hey, these people are riding on the wrong side of the roads. They're risking their lives. I don't like it. I wanted to throw a shake at them. I didn't. So please put some laws in place.
Please don't add that to the conversation.
No, she wanted to, but she didn't. So that's good.
Write that in your journal.
Don't tell them that she thought about it.
No.
Because what, they'll get mad at her
for because then it seems more emotional and less like
they won't take her seriously
on the topic at hand, which is she's really concerned about the livelihood of these people. So,
all right, so don't bring up your weird things that you would do, and don't bring up that you were thinking about yelling at them too out the window,
or that you did that. Yeah, just this is the concern. These are the stats. What can we do about it?
Tell them what you did in the past to solve the issue.
Help the situation.
That's true. Scenario number 3. Uda is tired of people complaining about zipper merging. This is when people enter the merging lane later on as opposed to way in advance. The advantage of zipper merging is less congestion and less commuting time for everyone. Unfortunately, Uda knows that most people don't know of these advantages and instead exhibit road rage towards her when she engages in the good practice. Should Uda release a social media video explaining to people the benefit of zipper merging, or is this the secret best kept to herself?
Oh, interesting. So I would say, as a fan of social media content creation, whenever you have tools and tips and tricks that, make your life a better existence, then you can always frame it within your perspective. This is my narrative. This is what I'm doing to live a better life, right? As opposed to taking the affront of, this is what you should be doing. This is right, because it's a different narrative of I doing something versus you should be doing, right? That's two different conversations you're having. So if she went to social media because she really wants more people to engage in this zipper merging scenario, then she should talk about the benefits she's had. How much time has she saved by commuting? What has been the benefits of doing this? What is the ease of being able to do this? How can you identify opportunities to zipper merge? All of that, as opposed to coming on and be like, all y'all who can't drive, this is what you need to, nope. That type of attitude is not going to be received well. Then we're back into that Monique world. And people can be in their feelings, in their bonnets. Thank you. So that would be my advice, that she should totally, if she feels zipper merging is the way to go, talk about her experience, document her experience, share her narrative. Do not go on the affront and tell people you should be doing this, but just show people why it's helpful. And then that is living the change that you want to see. And that way people won't come at her and be like, you drive poorly. Because that's what some people might say, even though it seems like she's not, but.
Yeah. So in this case, yeah, I think she should definitely use social media, but I think besides her personal experience, she just has to go back to kind of like the science and the research behind it and show that, look, this is what it does, because a lot of people, I guess, in her area aren't actually doing it. So her personal experience might not actually show that it's working because not everybody's using it. So I think she needs to actually show that people, when they use it, it does actually help everybody out. Yeah. So don't just show your personal experiences. In this case, show other experiences, and definitely be vocal about this matter. Don't just keep it to yourself, because not enough people know about it. So I think it's definitely something to spread the wealth kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Let everybody know about this. Put it on your social media and be proud of it. Don't be so... Don't keep it to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
It shouldn't be a secret.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about something that you love without shaming people for not doing it. There's a difference, right? Like, so if you go back to like the, you know, addressing how people dress or whatever, like you can talk about how you love to do something without it being an affront to other people. And I think that that's where people miss the mark there, and they feel the need to tell everybody else what they're doing. Tell the world what you're doing, and if you enjoy it, good for you. But you don't need to tell people that they're in the wrong because they don't happen to be doing what you're doing. That's definitely not Woken Free.
True.
Now, with that, it looks like we are at that time again as we're coming to the end of our 198th episode of
WokeNFree.
Quite the episode discussing, is it ever appropriate to share unsolicited advice?
Come back next week for the new Woken Free Wednesday episode. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for Woken Free Wednesday to join the conversation at WokenFree.com.
If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please submit a topic on our Contact Us page. And again, you guys know we're having a baby, so we're definitely not looking to add on guests until probably this fall. But you can find the Contact Us page at WokenFree.com. That is WokenFree.com. Now, for social media, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn at Woken Free. And then, of course, any sponsorships or collaborations, said it before, I'll say it again, contact us page at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do. Share the episode, and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for Woken Free Wednesdays. Remember, Woken Free is more than a podcast. It is a way of life. Until next time.
And that's not unsolicited advice.